What's up guys, I'm Jeff.
I'm Mike.
And today we're going to teach you how to install a tankless water heater. So I've been in the trade for about 10 years now, probably maybe 11, closer to 11. I love it. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I've never been so good at something before. Just humble at the same time. But yeah, it's my passion. You can see it in every job I do. I always give it 100%. I'll never sacrifice quality for anything.
So I've been in the field for 14 years. I worked summers as a lifeguard, and my first boss was a patron there. They needed a helper, they needed a driver, so it kind of fell into the trade ass backwards, and they were like, well, you can go on your interviews anytime you want, and then I started loving it. So I picked up stuff real quick. I'm a visual learner, so I could see someone do it and then basically mimic what they've done already. And 14 years later, just getting better, trying to master the craft every single day. Like Jeff says, make each job better than the last, and that's really what it's all about. Learning and trying to share what I've learned to others. So this is what we need: some material to build out this tankless water heater. Two 10-foot lengths of 3/4 copper and a piece of 3/4 black iron, and then some Viga fittings here. So we have street 90s, street 45s, a female press tee for the relief valve. Other tees, got this specialty fitting. Viga makes this crossover. Regular 90s, regular 45s, couple valves, drain down valves, unions to go on the bottom of the unit. And then we got these sweet MegaPress fittings. These are for gas, MegaPress G. So they have a sealing element inside and the cinch ring on the inside, so the jaw goes over and you press it. Good for gas. So got a valve, couple more fittings here, and another union to go on top or bottom of the unit.
So as you can see here, I drilled a hole. Why? Because I'm extra and we're going to put lights behind this unit. So I also made these two plates here. I used a really thin diamond plate and put it on a piece of plywood. So I'm going to mount these to the bracket that's on the unit. That way when we put the unit on the diamond plate, it's off the diamond plate so we can set the lights right behind it.
Okay, so for the bottom of this unit, we're going to use female by press unions and a female by press MegaPress union. So what we want to do here is for the water, we're going to use Teflon tape and pipe dope, and then just pipe dope for the gas. So what you want to do is take your spool of Teflon tape and you're going to wrap it in the way that you're tightening the fitting. And this is pretty thick stuff, so all you need is like 3 wraps, and then just give it a little tightening with your hand. Same thing for the hot. And you want to do this, you want to prep this unit before it goes on the wall, so you're not wrenching underneath the unit close to the wall. This makes it a lot easier. So next is your pipe dope for the hot and cold connections. and you want to use a flat jawed wrench so you don't mar up the brass on these fittings. All right. Now the gas. And these unions will make it easier for removal when it's time to change it out. Alright, after you install these, you just want to give these a nice wipe down, make it nice and clean. When I first kind of got introduced to Jeff, he came on the scene and he started messaging me out of nowhere, like, "Hey dude, I love your jobs."
So I met Mike on Instagram. You know, I messaged him a few times. Right away, instant connection. Knew we'd be best friends forever.
I'm like, what the hell? This is crazy. Like, he just wants to insert himself into my life. It was weird.
And to this day, he's my BFF, so you know we do a lot of stuff together.
But he's still weird. But we get around it, we do jobs together.
Looked up to him a lot, still do. You know, if I have a question, I call him. He teaches me a lot about plumbing and stuff like that. You know, he calls me for questions all the time too.
He's alright, he calls me every single day, like 5 times, asking me how to do stuff.
But you know, we always help each other out. You know, same mentality, always there for each other. So, sorry guys, spilled some juice. I think we'll probably be life partners, so that's kind of where we're at with that. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to hang this unit. I'm gonna make Mike do it just because he's so much stronger than me. So go ahead, Mike, pick it up. Good. And while we're hanging this, we want to make sure that our hole that I drilled before for the lights is behind it. All right, then we've got the level on top, so we make sure we're in good shape there. Alright, so unit's hung, it's level, hole's behind it. It's time to get busy. Hey Mike,
Yeah?
you know what time it is?
What's that?
Time to slay.
Sick. We're gonna be cutting some unistrut, and this is what I use. So the rigid strut slayer, this is for 1 5/8" unistrut. So there are 2 dies in here back to back, and when the pin pushes up on the ProPress, it literally shears the unistrut, so it's a burr-free cut every single time. Okay, so once we cut our unistrut, I used to use fender washers, but then I have to order them and the shop forgets to bring them, so I stopped doing that. So now what I do to secure the unistrut to the wall is use self-drilling screws. So these are 5/16, self-drilling, self-tapping, whatever you want to call them. And then you screw on the ends of the unistrut so your clamp doesn't impede on the screw.
Alright, so after Mike cut the strut, prepped it for me, I'm going to throw my level on it, and then I'm going to secure it to the wall. Dude,
you doing?
Dude, just let me have my moment, man.
Let's pipe it.
Let's go.
So we're gonna start to pipe the water heater now. So we're gonna start with the gas and keep it on the inside. So I'm gonna come off, we're gonna use all Viga fittings for this. So I'm gonna come off here and keep it tight on the inside, so then our water piping will come down and on the outside. Jeff has so kindly cut these pieces for me. So what we're gonna use is the rigid cone reamer and clean the inside and the outside of the pipe. And this is new pipe, but I just always like to give it a quick brush on the outside. And then I'm going to press this T so I can then place it on the unistrut so it will have something to hold to the unit. So these get inserted.
Of mega pressing and pro press is unmatched. Nothing can touch it. I don't have to thread pipe anymore with the mega press, so the time I save by just simply pressing a gas fitting, it sheds a lot of time off the job, so I'm able to use that time to do other things.
I think there's a added factor that nobody thinks about in the convenience of pressing. So basically, we're all on the job site and we're actually trying to get a job done. And if we don't have a certain size nipple or a fitting, that we can make that up with MegaPress. So we always keep, pieces of gas pipe on our truck so that we can cut down and make our own and make it to fit the house and to the equipment. All right, so we got all of our pieces reamed, cleaned, and the insertion depth is marked on each one. So right now we use a 1 1/8" cushion clamp for 3/4 gas. So we're gonna get this all pressed up and then we can start working our way up. So very important to mark your insertion depth because you can see that the fitting is loose in there. So
if you notice, Mike pressed the T on with the mega press. But here, the drip leg, I'm going to do 1 mega press on the bottom, and then I'm going to put a threaded cap. That way it's more serviceable for the tech. So first I'm going to pipe, dope, threads, put the cap on. I'm going to tighten it down before we press it. That way it doesn't put any tension on the press fitting itself. Couple turns so it's nice and tight, and we'll go ahead and put it on the press. This right here, all-time favorite Viega fitting. It's not only a ball valve, it's a union. So this can get you out of a lot of situations. So here, put it on, work my desk, grab my press, get to pressing.
Alright, so we have our piece cut, insertion depth already marked, and this is where it's going. So something like this, the union on this ball valve is extremely convenient because it can be inserted and then here and perfectly into place. And then your union. Measurement from our valve to the crossover, which is one of Viega's very special fittings. So, like I said before, we're going to keep the cold on the right and the hot on the left. So, have to use one of these fittings to then cross over, and it is 2 press fittings on either side.
So when we were hanging the water heater, if you remember, I wanted to keep it a little bit off the wall. That was for the lights. So, Mike, hit the lights. Ba-bam! Lights.
Okay, so we have our T's here and valves with full port drains on the bottom. So these serve a couple key elements. So now you have low point drains for the house and the unit, and these will be used as flush points. So you can turn your hot and cold off here and then use these to flush the heat exchanger on an annual maintenance.
That's how you pipe a tankless water heater.